Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from another normal game, and in this game we're going to be looking at a team composition featuring Kayle and the Supers trades. Yeah, this is not the normal kind of team that I like to play. Those of you who have watched my channel over the years know that I typically don't play a lot of reroll team compositions. I mostly like to play teams that try to push towards higher levels, play 4 and 5 cost carries. Just my brain kind of works better that way than staying deliberately at lower levels and re-rolling to try to 3-star champions. The difference here is that I was trying to get some of the mission objectives for another one of the events that they were doing for Teamfight Tactics. This was the Lunar Festival for Lunar New Year 2023. And one of those objectives was to play the Supers trait and have at least one 3-star unit. So like I said, super straight plus a 3-star unit. And I was like, you know what? I really don't like this patch very much. If you've been watching, you maybe have seen that I have not really been playing any ranked games in this patch. That's not a coincidence. I really don't like this patch very much. So I was like, you know what? Let's just knock out some of these missions for the Lunar Festival. They're fun to do. I often have gotten some pretty interesting games trying to complete them. I know in set 6 I did that with a number of them. I was like, you know what, while I'm waiting for the next patch to come out, which is probably going to be out by the time this video gets posted, but while I was waiting on that, like, let's just do some silly fun stuff in normal games. So going into this game, my plan was, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll try to play super straight. I'll try to re-roll for maybe Draven 3-star. That's something that seems to be at least like vaguely in the meta right now, because people like to play Draven with the set mech, but some people have also re-rolled for Draven 3-star. That seems to work okay, and then turn him into the mech prime unit. But then on the initial minion round, I get 3 Kayles. I was like, oh, 3 Kayles, and I have a Malphite and a Lee Sin in my store. I'm guaranteed to get gold here, so I'll pick up this gold. Let's go ahead and grab the Lee Sin. I was like, do I just re-roll for Kayle 3-star? I was like, maybe. I mean, okay, sure, why not? I grabbed the item grab bag, and there's another Kayle, so I'm already on 4 Kayles on 3-1. I was like, all right, you know what? Let's do it. Let's just go ahead and do this. I also end up getting a Thief's Glove via the item grab bag, so go ahead and make Infinity Edge on Kayle. It is, in fact, one of her best items. Now, people don't really play Kayle as a carry. She's a 1-cost unit. She also has the Underground trait, so she's not as strong as a lot of the other 1-cost units. She's not really a unit you would look to turn into a carry unit, but that's what we're going to do here. We're going to look to play Kayle. It's a bit of a shame that the augment was not the 1-cost Kayle carry augment. She's actually a very strong unit. If you can get the Kayle carry augment, then she becomes pretty strong as a 3-star. But nope, nothing like that here. We need to play into the super straight, and we need to get a 3-star unit, and it looks like Kayle is the best option. So that's what we're going to be going for in this game. Now, is this a strong build? No. No, this is not a strong build. In fact, this is a very weak build. This is like weird variant nonsense, but I am going to give it my best effort to win this game and to be competitive within the grounds of trying to play this Supers Kayle board. You see I get absolutely run over by someone who has 4 Duelist board. They got the +1 Duelist, I think it's Duelist Heart, which is a very strong option. They also have 2 different 2-star units. Anyway, so I am going to look to try to play this. I can at least get the Duelist trait in by putting this Yasuo on the board. The unit I need to find is Gangplank, though. Gangplank will get me the super trait. Now, note what I'm doing here. I am not leveling. I'm staying at low levels. That's what you want to do. If you're rerolling for a 1-cost unit, you need to stay at low levels as long as possible so that you can find more of those 1-cost units. I've also bought up a bunch of 1-cost units on the bench. They very slightly increase the odds that I will find Kayle. It's not likely, but it gives like a couple percentage points more likely that I'm going to find Kayles in my store. That said, I am not expecting to win these rounds because, you know, I'm only playing 3 units. A lot of people are level 4. It's expected that you will be lost streaking if you're going to try to do this. That's the general plan. It's like you're going to lost streak through the early stages, and then you look to do like a big roll down on, generally, if you have enough gold, you try to do a roll down on 3-1 while you're still level 4. But then I ended up winning the round anyway, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, I didn't think my board was very good, but I guess I ended up winning anyway. And there's Gangplank, so that's great news. It's like, okay, so with the Gangplank, let's clear our bench. of some of these. I actually didn't have to sell all of these, but let's put in the Gangplank, and then we're going to put in the Malphite again, because that gets us the Supers trait, which is what we need to play through. It's the mission objective. You have to play Supers. And then if I'm going to play through Kayle, what are Kayle's traits? Underground Duelist. Well, that means I'm going to play Supers, and then I probably want to get eventually 4 Duelists in. And that's kind of the plan, and we'll go from there. As I said, this is not a meta comp. We're just basically making it up along the fly. Now, remember, I also do have that Thief's Glove on the Lee Sin. So he's going to roll various items each round. And this roll, he actually rolls a Locket. Locket is a very strong early game item. So I did position my units to take advantage of having that Locket. So the 3 frontline units all got the extra shield from having the Locket. Now, I did not think I had any realistic chance to win this round. I was up against someone who's level 5, I'm only level 4, but turns out the Locket makes a difference. They do have all level 1 units. Now, the other question is, why did they go to level 5 if they had a board of level of 1-star units? Typically, you would only go to level 5 if you had like 2-star units and you were looking to win streak, or if you could play something that really made your board stronger. Neither of which was the case there. So I don't know why that person went to level 5. I actually still get first pick if you look at this. I lost enough health in that first round. I lost 8 health in the first round. And then the lobby mostly just equalized over time. Plus somebody took Tiny Titans as has 120 health. I actually ended up getting first pick, and that's great. I was like, okay, I'll just take this bow. I didn't particularly want a frontline item. The bow is great. The bow can be a number of different good items on Kayle. Top item would probably be Last Whisperer. That's probably what I would most want to pick up here. But there are other options as well. By the way, I roll a Zix this round, so I'm going to make use of that. I'll also put the Chain Vest on Malphite. Malphite's going to hold my tank items. And yeah, we'll go from there. I can also pick up the Fiora because she doesn't cost me any gold. She can be another duelist option. Okay, so the bow, to get back to that point, Last Whisper is probably my top option. Last Whisper plus Infinity Edge always have a lot of synergy together. You get that crit synergy between the 2 items. Also, this is a patch where people were playing the Set mech. Set has Defender as a trait, so that means he gets additional armor. So Last Whisper is pretty mandatory to have on an AD unit in this patch. If you're going to play AD, you really need a Last Whisper. But if I can't get that, then Giant Slayer is also a good option. I could also do Rageblade, although I have a little bit less need for Rageblade because I'm playing Duelist. Duelists stack up attack speed naturally, so there's a little bit less need for that. And what's this? Am I winning again? I'm up against another level 5 board and I win again, but once again, all 1-star units over there. No 2 stars. That does make a difference. Some of these people seem like they might be forcing comps that maybe they shouldn't. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and get the Malphite. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and sell the Fiora because I do want to get to 30 gold. Now, this is a bit of a mistake that I realized later on. At the start of the game, I was grabbing Yasuo's and dropping Fiora's, but it's actually a mistake. I should just be grabbing both of them. And the reason is, remember, I want to play 4 duelists eventually. And Fiora is a unit that I want to play because eventually I'm going to want to get Alistar on my board. Alistar will make mascot trait with the Malphite. So I'm going to want an Alistar for mascot trait, and then Fiora will pair with that for Oxforce trait. So I do want that unit eventually. And I mean, I had to sell something, but it probably would have been better to sell the Yasuo than to sell the Fiora. I think Fiora is a slightly better fit for this comp. Not that it really matters that much. Okay, so now it's down to just me and the Jinx. I really would like to win this. I'm actually on a pretty good win streak here, but Jinx gets off an ult. Oh, this is close. Kayle, can you get your ult off? Oh my goodness. Kayle's ult was in midair flying towards that person. Would have won the round. That was fractions of a second. But unfortunately, I lose, and that is a bit of a shame because it was worth quite a bit of money to win that round. So yeah, that's kind of sad. I would have been on a 4-match winning streak. Amazingly, again, been level 4 the entire time. Kayle is my only 2-star unit. But yeah, well, not quite enough. And I do need to move over to the right-hand side because I'm only level 4. There is actually a chance I could wipe on this minion round. Have to position on the right-hand side to help me out with the Krugs. This way, I should be able to kill the Krugs without anyone dying. But if I just had my units positioned willy-nilly, I actually could die to Krugs here because I'm only level 4. All right, let's see what we can get here. We're going to get... Okay, these units are not terribly useful, but they do give me more gold. I guess Annie could be Oxforce. Oh, a sword. That's excellent. And a belt. Okay, well, the belt's Sunfire, and I'll just go ahead and make the Giant Slayer right now. I'm perfectly fine with that. Giant Slayer is going to be very good in the long run. It's not a good early game item, but it'll be good long term. And as I said, I'm quite happy having that item. And then we'll see what else we can find. All right, so now, because I'm still level 4, I'm going to roll down a bit here. Note that the odds for 1-cost units are still 55%. So I want to roll here and pick up more Kayles. And I'm also going to be able to hit some key 2-stars, so that's not bad. Galio was an option, but now that seems less likely. 2-star Yasuo, okay. And we can keep rolling. I don't want to roll too low, but I think I'm going to end up, and then we'll stop at 20. But I was able to find... Well, I found 1 Kayle. That's not great. I wish I had found a few more Kayles. But I found Malphite 2-star. I found Gangplank 2-star. I found Lee Sin 2-star. And I found Yasuo 2-star. So that's all pretty good there. So I'll take that. It wasn't the greatest roll down, but I did hit a lot of what I needed. 2-starring my board is a real help. Again, I am only level 4, but... I'll be level 5 at the end of this round. Now I need to save gold again, and then we get to 50 gold, and then we slow roll on level 5 for the remaining Kayles. We need to find 4 more, but I will be playing all 2-star units. So as I said, not exactly what I wanted. It would have been nice if I'd been able to hit the Kayle 3-star there, but I can't complain too much. It was still a pretty good roll down. I hit most of what I needed, and like I said, I'll be playing a board of 5 2-star units after this. Okay, so what do we have here? And I was like, oh, okay. It's the Fiora carry augment. That's not what I want, but it's Vayne support. You get a lot of duelist things here. And it's the Vayne with Edge of Night. When you field Vayne, allies holding Edge of Night gain 35% attack speed. I was like, I think that's the best option. I don't think I'm going to do better than this. I think that's probably the best I can do. So unfortunately, this now means that I can't play both the Vayne and the Yasuo. So I have like this 2-star Yasuo on my bench. Kind of not something that I need at the moment. But that will be handy once I can get to level 6. The problem is I need to hit Kayle 2-star, or 3-star, excuse me, before I get to level 6. And then I can slow roll on 6 after that. But the Vayne is not quite what I want. The problem is this was a 3-cost augment. Like, it clearly we hit 3 cost for the champion augment. That's still better than if the champion augment had been the 3rd one. And if it was like a 4 or a 5-cost unit, that would have been terrible. But it was all 3-cost units, and clearly the only trait that I have in is Duelist. For those who don't know, when you get a champion augment, it will work off of what traits you have in. So I guess I could have gotten supers. The problem is there's no 3-cost supers, and it was a 3-cost augment, so it couldn't really roll a supers unit. So yeah, that's why it was Vayne and Neela, and I guess it could have rolled 2 costs, because I did get a Fiora in there, so I guess 2 costs were in play. So maybe I could have gotten, I don't know, a Yasuo augment or something. Actually, a Yasuo augment would have been pretty good. But I was hesitant to use the reroll because the Vayne was not bad. Still, that does mean that my comp has now shifted. I was planning on playing Yasuo plus Fiora on to get 4 duelists in. Now it's going to have to be Vayne and then either Fiora or Yasuo. The problem is, once again, Fiora is a better fit because I want to play Alistar in this board as well. So I've got these 4 Yasuos, but as I said, Fiora is really the better fit for this comp. So I'll have to decide if I want to switch over to Fiora later or keep stacking Yasuos. It's going to depend, at least in part, on what units I actually see. In any case, though, now Vayne is clearly going to be part of my comp, so, I mean, I can run her just fine. She's another duelist. I more want to be rolling for 2-cost units than 3 costs, but again, this is not bad. I'll take it. And it gave me a useful ability. It gave me both a Vayne, and it gave me that Edge of Night. Now, the Vayne support augment tends to be one of the better champion augments in the game right now, because not only does it give you a useful ability, units that have an Edge of Night gain 35% attack speed, it gives you the Edge of Night as well. So it's like, not only do you get a useful ability, you also just excuse me, you also just get an Edge of Night, which is also great. So now I'll just put that on the Kayle. I mean, it's basically like getting significant it gives her a pretty significant amount of attack speed as well. As I said, 35% is nothing to sneeze at. And it also gives her that aggression drop and a small amount of additional AD as well. So I'm quite happy to just slap that thing on the Kayle and then have her fully itemized. Like, that's quite good. So now she's got 3 items. Again, I wish I had a Last Whisper, but this is not bad. I can certainly make use of this. And off that carousel, I decided I'll just take a bow, and now we'll start itemizing Vayne as well. I thought that was more useful than trying to put stuff on Malphite, who's not really all that tanky. All right, so we're going to slow roll here at level 5. Hopefully I can keep winning. Again, it's a shame I lost that round. I'd be on an 8-match winning streak. Think how much more gold I'd have if I'd gotten that. So sadly, that was not the case. That said, we should take a minute here to discuss the Supers trait, because that's the other thing I'm playing in this game. Now, Supers was extremely popular in the previous patch, in the Yumi patch that we were on for ages and ages and ages. In fact, it was so strong that it really got dumpstered in the patch that we're playing right now. I expect it'll get buffed again. Previously, well, let me read what it does right now, by the way. As you see this Misfortune ult, this Misfortune unit that's extremely overtuned in this patch. Just 1-star MF, but is that enough to wipe the whole board? Yep, no problem with that. I mean, it's close, but yeah, 1-star MF, way, way, way too strong in this build. That's basically what Supers was in the last patch. So Supers, the official description is, combat start, strike a pose, grants your team bonus damage, which increases for every 3-star champion on your team. Previously, it was 25%, plus 5% for every 3-star. That got nerfed down to 18%, plus 3%. Yeah, this trait got murdered in this patch. Got absolutely murdered, by the way. So there, you saw me hit a couple Kayles, and then I got close enough that I decided I would just roll for the last one, and I managed to get it. So pretty easy, hitting the Kayle 3-star. Now I've officially gotten my reward, my Lunar event reward, and I've managed to hit the 3-star Kayle very smoothly. I did not have to spend too much gold rolling there. So now we'll go to level 6, and then we'll see if we can slow roll a bit on level 6, because we have a lot of 2-cost units that we would like to 3-star. And you have the best chance to hit the 2-cost units at level 6. It's 40% odds in the shop at level 6. So yeah, this is going great. I've hit the 3-star Kayle. Let's go. I should say, before we go any further, just talk briefly about what Kayle's ability does. I kind of skipped by that earlier, but now that she's a 3-star unit, we can go ahead and talk a bit more about her setup. So as I mentioned, Kayle is a 1-cost unit, Duelist plus Underground. Her ability is Starfire Spellblade. Nice alliteration there. Only costs 30 mana, so it's very cheap in terms of mana cost, but you wouldn't want to put a blue buff on her because she's entirely AD based. Kayle's next 3 attacks deal physical damage to her target and magic damage to enemies within 1 hex of the target. So there is some splash damage. A percentage of attack damage is 150%, so she scales off AD. And at 3 stars, it's 45 magic damage gets splashed to nearby units. Anyway, here I was rolling a little bit, and I hit all these Fioras, so I was like, you know what? Let's just get rid of the Yasuo, and let's just play the Fiora instead. Again, I had a lot of Yasuos, and there's actually 3 more Yasuos in the store. So, again, it's a little unfortunate I have this Vayne as my champion augment instead of getting a Yasuo augment. I kind of wish I had re-rolled and found a Yasuo augment. There's actually, the Yasuo support augment would have been amazing. It gives attack speed to the whole team. I would already be on like 8 Yasuos if that were the case. But I'm on 6 Fioras, so I was like, all right, we'll just ditch the Yasuos, even though I found a lot of them. Looks like we have very good odds to hit Fiora 3-star. And so we're going to roll here. We want to roll to see if we can hit 3-star Fiora, 3-star Malphite, 3-star Lee Sin. We want to get more of these 3-stars in to synergize with the Supers trait. And eventually then we'll go to level 7 and play Alistar. But we want to try to 3-star some more of these 4-cost, or excuse me, some of these 2-cost units here on level 6. So yeah, we'll be here for a little while. All right, last augment, and oof, Super's Heart Duelist Crest. I was like, gained a Duelist emblem and a Yasuo. I was like, but so I could take this, I could turn another unit into a Duelist, but like, who would I turn into a Duelist? Everyone's already a Duelist. Like Malphite, turn him into a Duelist. That would make it possible to play 6 Duelists on level up. But I was like, but I need to play Alistar on level up because I really need more frontline in this board. I really need Mascot. So I end up re-rolling this, which I don't know if was the right decision. I could have played more Duelists, but I thought I wanted to play Alistar on level up, not another Duelist. So I ended up taking Salvage Bin, which I don't think was a very good call. By the way, there's an Alistar, so we'll just hold that for right now. I don't think that was an especially good call, but I get lucky and I get an amazing item in there. I get a Last Whisper. So the fact that it gave me a Last Whisper probably means that I got pretty good value out of this. But I don't know. Should I have taken the Duelist emblem? Maybe. It would have made it easier to play 6 Duelists, but I just didn't see myself playing 6 Duelists in this game. Still, probably would have been more useful, but I can't complain. The Last Whisper is really good. As I said, you need a Last Whisper when you're playing an AD comp. The thing is, though, I could not have known that I was going to get a Last Whisper out of the Salvage Bin. That was definitely dumb luck. So I kind of got lucky, but I don't think that was... I think it was the wrong decision, but I think it worked out anyway. Ah, well. I was trying to figure out how I would make use of it, and I just couldn't see how I would really use the duelist. I didn't want the supers thing. I was already playing all the supers units. All right, so there's Lee Sin, and we're actually on 8 Malphites now, so I was like, all right, let's just roll and hit this last Malphite. And, oh, but by the way, there's 2 Vanes. I was like, all right, well, there's Vane 2 stars, so we'll go for that. And then I was like, all right, do I keep rolling or do I stop here? I guess I stop here because I am at 40 gold. I don't want to drop too far below that, but I do want to roll and hit the remaining Malphite here sooner or later. Still, we don't want to be too impatient. It's still early in the game. We have time to try to go for that. I'm going to go ahead and shift Lee Sin over here to the right-hand side. I thought I might be hitting the win streaking comp. I do not hit the win streaking comp. And the Shroud ends up getting wasted. But it was the right decision to try to position for that comp because that was strongest comp in the lobby. It's a little bit concerning that someone's on 120 HP and still win streaking. So yeah, that person's got a lot of health. Now, can we finish off the Soraka board? Yes, and look how close that is. Edge of Night to the rescue. Edge of Night won that fight because Kayle got the aggression drop. And that allowed her to squeeze out just a tiny bit more damage in that fight and survive on literally 1 hit. So, hey, I was able to keep my win streak alive. Can't complain about that. Alrighty, so what do we have here? It's another carousel. I'm last pick again. I'm continue to be surprised that I'm winning off these boards. My top pick was actually the Vest. That would have made another Edge of Night, so Vane would have gotten that attack speed and also gotten the aggression drop. After that, I thought, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and take this glove, because that'll make Infinity Edge. That'll make Infinity Edge plus... That'll make Infinity Edge plus Last Whisper, but then something weird happens. The item just disappears. I have no clue what happened there. Literally, the glove just disappeared off the carousel, so okay, that's something that happened. So that happened. And so I just go ahead and take Giant Slayer instead. So I have double Giant Slayers. Again, I would have preferred to have Infinity Edge Last Whisper combined, but the glove just literally disappeared into thin air. So, yeah, that does not end up... I can't take that item. Just vanishes into the ether. So I'll make a Giant Slayer instead, which is still not a bad item on Vane. So I'm still reasonably pleased with that. It will be good against any high health target on the enemy teams. And she has the Last Whisper for armor shredding. So the idea is Vane will shred the armor, and then Kayle will pound in the additional damage with her IE. It's nice that the IE allows her ability to crit, too, which is pretty nice. So, yeah, we actually have a lot of damage here. It's more the front line is shaky. And that is the reason why I wanted my next unit in to be Alistar and not 6 Duelists. I don't have a bunch of lockets like we would do when we're playing, like, Duelist Neela. Playing, like, straight Duelists. You get a bunch of lockets and use them for your front line. I could have gone that route here. I didn't go that route, so I definitely need frontline to be a little bit stronger here. All right, and there we go, 6 Lee Sin, so 6 Fiora, 6 Lee Sin, so I'm getting kind of close to some of these units as well. Again, the decision is how much longer do I want to stay here on level 6 and keep re-rolling for the Fiora and the Lee Sin, and then when do I want to go to level 7 and put in that Alistar? That is a tough decision. I am only level 6, and like most of these other people are getting close to level 8 because they're playing more normal boards. So we'll have to figure that out. I'm still not exactly sure. I definitely would like to win this round because I'm on this 5-match winning streak. And it's worth a lot of gold to keep this win streak going. So I'm hoping I can keep doing this. Now, this person has a 3-star Blitzcrank, but look where Vane is. Vane got the Last Whisper proc on that Blitzcrank right from the start. So that at least gives me a chance. I don't know if that's enough to win this, but at least gives me a shot at this. And Kayle dodges the Urgot ult, so that's really good. Now, can we get on the Jinx? Remember, we've got the Edge of Night. Boom! Now, can we survive that? Yes. I think that the Edge of Night procced and interrupted the Misfortune ult just a little bit. And I'm able to win that fight. That person's level 7, 0 gold. So they're not going to be getting that much stronger. They have no economy left over. And I managed to clutch out that win by the tiniest of margins. Okay, so I decided at this point I would go to level 7 and play the Alistar. It makes sense. We're about to hit the stage 5. I really do need that extra unit in. Ox Force trait for Fiora and then Mascot trait in for... Malphite are going to be nice. Mascot trait's not going to do that much. Mascot trait got nerfed super hard. One of the reasons why the Yuumi, after the Yuumi patch went away, everything about that team comp got nerfed. The Mascot trait got nerfed. Supers got nerfed super hard, as we already discussed. Yuumi got nerfed. All the Mascot units themselves got nerfed, etc., etc. Anyway, I get a glove here, and then I was like, oh, another glove. This is perfect. I can Thieves Glove the Fiora. Fiora's almost a 3-star unit. Well, I need 3 more. But, like, I could have 3-star Lee Sin and 3-star Fiora, both with Thieves Gloves. That would be really good. All right, so we'll put in the Alistar. Come on, get in there, Alistar. So there we go. Very nice. She rolls tank items this round. And then let's see if we can find more of these units. There's another Lee. That's 7. And all right, we'll just stay here at 50 gold. Continue slow rolling. Continue being patient. So I do think I've done a good job of staying calm, not dropping all my economy in a hurry. It's been helpful that I've been on some big win streaks. That's definitely been feeding me additional income. And just making do with this whole super setup. So yeah, tank Fiora this round. Warmogs plus Dragon's Claw. That's actually going to be pretty good against this team because it's all magic damage. Anyway, unfortunately though, the LeBlanc gets in the back line and does kill the Vayne. So that's unfortunate. Good news is Kayle is positioning to hit that unit. All right, so down goes the LeBlanc. Now Kayle is still alive. Can we finish off these units? Come on, Kayle. I need you to kill that Zoe. Can she get the Zoe? Oh, she gets fooled by the prankster dummy. And then Miss Fortune's going to get her ult off. But Fiora is still alive. She's got a Warmogs and a Dragon's Claw. Those are pretty much the perfect items to deal with Zoe. So yeah, actually, Fiora is going to clutch that one out and win that fight for us. All right. Now we're just, again, slow rolling to try to hit these. Leona's interesting, but nope, doesn't fit the board. All right, come on. Can we see some more of these? Little disappointing on the roll down. All right, that's 8 Lees. 1 more Lee. And hey, we might as well pick up Vayne. I don't think I'm going to 3-star Vayne because Vayne's being played on several other boards. I know I've seen Vaynes on like 2 or 3 other comps. So it doesn't seem likely that I'm going to be able to hit the 3-star Vayne. But, I mean, I can take her out of the pool. That's another 3-cost unit out of the pool. So that's something. All right, this person is playing, what is it? They've got a 3-star Ezreal, which is kind of interesting. They have the Ezreal support augment who gives other champions a free item. What I need is Vayne to be on the Vi with the Bramble, but a little late in doing that. The Edge of Night buys her an extra second, but no, not enough. I do finally have my win streak come to an end. I'm kind of shocked that I was win streaking that long, and it looks like that person's the strongest in the lobby at the moment. They're on a win streak. All right, there's a Fiora, and all right, so we can continue to be patient. I end up selling the GP. There's really no reason to do that. I just got impatient. I was just like, well, there's no way I'm ever going to hit Gangplank 3-star, so there's no reason I'm holding this. I'll just clear out the bench space, but I might as well have held the unit. I mean, I'm not close, but I also wasn't out of bench space. There's really no reason to sell that unit. Might as well. All right, so once again, we've got either the Anima squad with the 3-star Blitz, or we've got the Duelist board. All right, looks like we've got the Anima squad board. Again, I need Vayne to shred the armor on that Blitzcrank. That's really my best hope of getting through the front line here. This person does have a 2-star Misfortune, but oh, look at that Urgot ult. It misses everything. Does not hit Kayle, does not hit Vayne. Fortunately, by the time Misfortune ults, Misfortune has no mana generation, so by the time she ults, the fight's pretty much over already. And that's going to be enough to win that one. So I'm still kind of hanging in there. I kind of thought my board was going to fall off sooner than this, but no, has not actually happened. Has not fallen off yet. Okay, on this carousel, there's a number of 5-cost units, but again, I don't really want any of the 5-cost units. Look, there's a Fiora here with a Bramble Vest. That's a Bramble for Malphite and an 8th Fiora. Remember, Fiora has a Thief's Club, so this will pop off her. So this gets me closer to the Fiora 3-star, and it gives me a useful item. So now I just want to roll. By the way, and like now I'm like, why did I sell those Gangplanks? I could have had Gangplank 2-star there. Could have had 6 Gangplanks there. All right, now we want to roll for the Lee and the Fiora. There's the Lee. There's another GP. It's like now all of a sudden the Gangplanks are raining from the sky. Just rolling for the Fiora. There we go. All right. So now I've kind of hit everything I needed to. I'm not close to Alistar 3-star. Now we can put the Bramble on Malphite, as I said. Not close to the Alistar 3-star, but we might as well go to level 8 now and just play something else, right? I don't want to sit here just rolling for Alistars. That doesn't seem all that valuable to do. Now I'm up against the Duelist board. I think this one is probably the strongest in the lobby right now, at least aside from me. I rolled a Zephyr that round. I used it on the Zed. I don't know if that was the right choice. It was hard to say between that and the Vayne. This person, by the way, has the same champion augment as I do. They have the Vayne support augment. And they also have that Edge of Night on Yasuo. I mean, it's close, but oh, we just barely managed to kill the Zed, but not enough to kill the Vayne. And like I said, there's a lot of people playing Vayne, so it's not realistic to stay here and roll for Vayne 3-star because Vayne's being played on several other boards, so not likely I'm going to hit, what? I need 5 more Vaynes. That's probably not going to happen. All right, so we'll go level 8, and then we'll just see what we can hit on level 8. We'll play something. Maybe we can get a legendary unit. Maybe we can get something else. Now, here is where if I had taken the Duelist emblem, it would have been useful because on level 8, I could play 6 duelists if I had the duelist emblem. So that is the cost of not taking that, is I'm going to be stuck on 4 duelists. It doesn't look like I can realistically get to 6 duelists. So as I said, that would have been probably the one place where that ends up hurting me. But as I said, I got lucky. I sucked out. I got lucky. I hit my inside straight draw, to use a poker term. I got the Last Whisper for Vayne, which has been a very important item for me to have in these fights. Now, do I have enough damage to finish off this board? It looks like the answer to that is yes. The Vayne plus Kayle is doing an awful lot of damage. By the way, this person, Lakenda, has won like the last 2 fights with 1 unit alive. That Vayne has just barely stayed alive in fight after fight. Pretty wild. Alrighty, so yeah, on we go. The Kayle board continues to hang in there. I should also say, now that I have, how many 3-stars do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 3-star units. So the current supers bonus is 30%, because, or is that right? Am I getting this correct? The base is 18%, and then 3% for every 3-star. So yeah, it's 30%. 8 plus 12, or 18 plus 12 is 30. Under the old patch, it started at 25 and then went up by 5 for every 3-star. It would have been 45% under the old patch. Yeah, 30% as opposed to 45%. That's kind of a difference. Kind of a big difference. All right, now look what I've got here. I actually have Edge of Night here as an option, and I was like, oh, Edge of Night. Remember, Edge of Night with my Vayne augment. Edge of Night gives my units 35% attack speed. By the way, look at what Fiora has rolled this round. Another Edge of Night. So I really want to get this item on one of my units. So I was like, well, let's put Zed in. Well, he can just take this Edge of Night. Okay, so that works. We'll just give him an Edge of Night. And I think I can maybe do better than this unit, but I'm reasonably happy with playing him as just my +1 unit for right now. He can make use of Edge of Night just fine. And he gives me just another unit. Now, there's no hacker trait in for Zed, so he's not going to run in the back lines. But, you know, 5 duelists, plus he's got the attack speed from the Edge of Night with the Vayne support augment, so that's not bad. Misfortune's going to ult, but we do actually have a counter to the Misfortune ult on my board, and that is the Oxforce trait. Oxforce trait gives the unit that 1 second where they can't die when they hit 0 health. So units like Fiora and Alistar can kind of absorb the Misfortune ult and not die from it, which is really nice. And then, oh, okay. Oh, we got an Aphelios. Okay, I don't have Sure Shot trait in, but I'll play this. By the way, Salvage Bin turns this into a separate sword and a separate vest. So I'm actually going to item remover this because I actually want the Edge of Night on Vayne. She's a much more important unit. Remember, Aphelios does not get the duelist benefit. He does get Oxforce though, which is kind of nice. But I'm going to put the Rageblade on him because Rageblade is really not necessary on my duelist. They get enough attack speed from the duelist trait. They really don't need the Rageblade all that badly. So I'm just going to put this on Vayne. And remember, she gets 35% attack speed just from the Edge of Night. And she gets the aggression drop too. By the way, in this fight, she's firing over at the Zed. This is perfect. I want her to kill that Zed. Take out that Zed. His Edge of Night's going to trigger, but going to finish him off. By the way, Edge of Night's everywhere. This person has like 3 Edge of Nights too. And we're going to knock that person out of the lobby. And I thought that person was probably the strongest player. So it's actually going to be down to just me and one other player, the Anima Squad player. So I was like, oh, cool. All right. We got Aphelios on the board to give me a little bit more crowd control. By the way, there's 6 GPs. So if I had just saved all my GPs and not like been an idiot, I could have had that. And then I see that there's an Urgot here. I was like, okay, I'd rather play Urgot than the Zed. I think that's more useful. Look at how this person is clumping their board. They are very heavily clumped up. So Urgot's going to be great against that. I was like, all right, we'll just drop the Zeds. All I have to do is make sure that the Urgot is going to be hitting that with his ultimate. It'll knock everybody up into the air, and that's what I want. I mean, the other thing is, remember, Kayle does deal splash damage when her ult goes off. I don't know if a lot of people realize that because it's Kayle. No one plays this unit. She's a 1-cost unit. No one plays Kayle as like a major carry, but like she does splash damage when her ult goes off, so you don't really want to clump against Kayle. In any case, and yeah, we're going to punch through, and we're able to take them out just before Misfortune is able to get off another ultimate. So that's going to work. And then, oh, looky what we got here. Some good options. I mean, there is an Aegis emblem that would give us Aegis trait. There's also a Zephyr, but I was like, you're clumped up. Give me that Shroud of Stillness, baby. You are clumped up, and this is going to force you not to clump. And as soon as you unclump, that means Misfortune's not going to be protected. Well, let's see how long it takes them to realize they need to unclump here because I've got the Shroud. All right, now they put the Zephyr on Blitzcrank, and that is a very odd decision because that Blitzcrank really cannot move around. That Blitzcrank kind of has to stay locked in place. Anyway, I'm just rolling to see what I can hit. I don't think I can 3-star anything else at this stage of the game. Now, they're going to look to move the Misfortune over to the right-hand side. I was like, are you really going to move MF over there? I don't believe you. I think you're going to keep her on the left-hand side. So I'm going to move over here, and I actually have to rebuild the Shroud of Stillness because it got separated into its components when I have Salvagement Augment, so it splits into its components. But yes, I do want the Shroud of Stillness, so we're going to go ahead and place that. Fortunately, I did get it off in time. Urgot ult is going to knock everybody up into the air. It doesn't interrupt the MF ult, but she only gets off one ult, does not get the second one off. Boom. Down you go. And the Urgot is just coming in super duper handy here. So anyway, I'm just going to keep picking up more units. Oh, there's Samira 2-star. Okay. So I was like, is it better to play Samira 2-star here than the Urgot? I think it might be, actually. By the way, they just sold something. Apparently, they're moving into Renegade plus Anima Squad Fiddlesticks. I was like, you know what? Samira gives me the ace trait. Let's put her on the board. Plus, this person's declumping their board anyway, so we might as well make use of that. I also have double Zeeks on the... I have double Zeeks on my, what do you call it, Lee Sin this round. I also have a Zephyr. I don't really get a chance to place the Zephyr correctly, though. Should have put that in the corner. But I do get the Shroud on Misfortune again, and that's the most important thing to place. Plus, I have double Zeeks on Kayle and Vayne. This is awesome. So can Misfortune get her ult off? Well, doesn't really hit much of anything. So we're going to win this round pretty easily. Now we just need to win one more round. But no, they just quit the lobby. I guess they were frustrated. So that's that. GG. Kayle, Supers plus Kayle for the win, apparently. So it ends up being a relatively straightforward victory. Now, again, this isn't a normal lobby. The level of competition not as high as what I've been seeing in like the ranked games I played, especially the double-up games that we've been playing. But this was still just a lot of fun. Again, I mostly just did this for the Lunar Festival mission. I think that's it, Dancing with Dragons. Or maybe it's Shine the Super Signal. I can't remember which one it is. But I just did this to fulfill the mission. But it ended up being a really fun game. So I hope this was entertaining to watch. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Until next time, take care, folks.